Okay, guys, one more thing. This summer, when you're being inundated with all this American bicentennial 4th of July brouhaha, don't forget what you're celebrating. And that's the fact that a bunch of slave-owning, aristocratic, white males didn't want to pay their cheat codes. It's November 17th, 2016. Welcome to episode 119 of the Cheat Codes Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We're always glad to have you with us, and the next hour is us drinking a few beers and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game tech and pop culture news. We're coming to you from Lee High School, where the coach is making us voluntarily agree to not indulge in any alcohol, drugs, or engage in any other activity that may in any way jeopardize the years of hard work that we as a team have committed to for a championship season in 76. My name is Joe Erskine, and I am your host. And I'm here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe Pink Arroyo.
What's up?
Cheat Codes core panelist, Mr. Nikk Wooderson Golesh.
Oh, hey.
On this episode, we'll show up at our friend's door for a party only to find out that his parents stayed home from a vacation. We're going to address the Conan Final Fantasy 15 backlash, you salty sons of bitches. We will address the hackers who robbed EA using a FIFA exploit. Whoops. And the Game Awards raises an interesting question about the way games are promoted. For the lightning round, we'll chase freshmen around with a paddle to give them a good licking, even though we graduated years ago. Let's take a moment to honor the playground swing, because it needs to. Not swinging the switch. The playground apparatus.
The switch.
Not the switch. And finally, there's a weird discrepancy and a weird patch for Watch Dogs 2. We'll explain later. Very quickly. Do we want to banter?
Yeah.
I kind of rolled right over it. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
How are you guys?
I'm doing good.
You okay?
Thanks for asking.
I'm fine.
It's a little cold outside now.
It did got cold. Like the past couple days got really chilly. You guys gearing up for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, we got our stockings and our Christmas lights.
It's true. You guys have already decorated for Christmas. It's like walking into a Bartell's Drugs in here. You know what I mean?
It's like wrong season, guys. Also, we got our leftover Halloween candy. It's on sale if you want it.
Get your ghost-shaped Reese's peanut butter cups. You know, that kind of thing. You guys in town for Thanksgiving? You're going away.
I'm going out, yeah.
Okay.
Going to San Diego.
Cool.
Nice and warm there, hopefully.
I imagine that's probably true. Good beer in San Diego, too.
Yeah, they got good beer, I guess.
It's good beer.
We have people coming in town. We have family coming in town.
Nice. I'm actually doing Thanksgiving tomorrow night. So.
Oh, that's early.
Yeah, it is, actually. It's not Thanksgiving, but we're doing it. My son's birthday was yesterday. So my family's going to be in town for the party on Saturday. And, thank you. And so we just figured we'd just bang out Thanksgiving, too.
Just knock it out.
Fuck it.
Just get it over with. You know, you should give thanks every day.
It's a good rule for life. Gratitude. Very quickly, let's talk about what we're washing this episode down with. All I'm saying is that we want to look back and say that we did the best we could while we were stuck in this place. Had as much fun as we could while we were stuck in this place. Played as hard as we could while we were stuck in this place. So today we're enjoying some Celebration Fresh Hop IPA from the folks at Sierra Nevada. Here's to throwing away a football career in the name of principle. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Yeah, that was an interesting click.
Well, you didn't have it in your hand. Yeah.
You leave me hanging. Jeez.
It's bad luck.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it. Number one.
Clueless Gamer, Conan O'Brien's running bit where he plays video games with celebrities and tries to, basically make some jokes about being clueless about video games at a recent installment. This particular bit featured Elijah Wood, and they played Final Fantasy 15. Within moments of booting it up and playing through initial sequences, he lays into the game, asking why anyone would want to play it, amongst other pretty funny jabs, including some obligatory boy band jokes. Right. Square employees happened to be on site and watched his take on the game. They later tweeted that they got a good chuckle out of it. However, as gaming threads are wont to do, people got a little salty with Conan. People get very defensive about the things that they like. They worried he didn't accurately represent the game and or the franchise and took umbrage, as they say. Real quick. It's cool to like stuff. It's even cool to love stuff. Try not to get upset when other people don't like it and make it known. I mean...
They're just missing the point of the show. It's not to talk about new games and their remarkables, I guess. It's to talk about a clueless gamer playing a new video game.
Yeah.
That he has no idea how to play or something.
Do not act surprised if a person who does not understand video games doesn't understand Final Fantasy 15.
And do not also, and yeah, especially
Right?
especially
I mean-
any like yeah. No, but and also don't be surprised that when you throw somebody who is unaware of how to do anything, any task, and you throw it at them to do it, don't be surprised when they project their shortcomings on the
Correct.
product itself
Yes.
or the thing that it is they're you know, usually it's like you ask someone to do something they've never done before and they're like, I can't do it, this sucks.
Right.
Like, that's
It's
usually
okay
what it
to say that Conan is bad at games because he is, but that's the bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
I think people were getting upset that he flat out said like this is like a waste of time
aggressive
or something.
waste of
He
time.
said this is an aggressive waste of time.
He definitely laid into it. He got a little strong with it, but not in a way that I felt like it doesn't make me want to play it less. I'm still going to play the shit out of that game.
It made me want to play it less.
Did
You honestly want to play Final Fantasy 15?
No, it validated my feelings.
Okay, fine.
I don't think it should affect anybody's real. I don't know why it validated your feelings. I guess
Oh, man.
Well, because I wasn't gonna play it anyway.
I know, but at one
That's
point
why.
you said it looked kind of cool or
It does
something.
look cool. It's a cool game. I'm not gonna.
I mean, it does sound like there's a bunch of fucking fluff in there that's just like random crap just to like increase the what
like
you can
when they
do in
push
the
a
game or
car.
something.
Like when
Isn't
they
it
push
cool
the
that we
fucking car.
right? Well, isn't it cool that we put this in a game, quote
It's,
unquote?
I,
Right?
I get that, and I can understand like this isn't a game from people's understanding who don't know how to play games or something.
Right.
Like it's not a game necessarily.
It's barely a game for people who know how to play games. That's what makes it really interesting because they like to push the envelope and just be like, "Look what we put in a game this time. That's weird and
There's
obscure."
a bag of chips.
Yeah, so take someone where it's mildly obscure to gamers, and then also put that in the hands of a non-gamer, and you get just obscurity upon obscurity.
Sure. I think if there's any blame to be placed, I think it's on Elijah Wood, to be honest, on Frodo.
well,
Because he admits at the beginning because he's like,
He kind of
you can't trust him.
he's
Obviously,
still
then.
the same age as he was when he got the brain.
He admits up front that he's like a pretty avid gamer, plays a lot of. Now I don't know what that means. It's like, oh yeah, I play lots of games. You probably play Angry Birds on your phone a bunch. Fuck you. I honestly,
wouldn't go
because
that
I
far.
believe him when
He
he
looks
says
like
that-
one of the 12-year-old Call of Duty kids.
That might be true.
Kind of.
I can honestly see him as a guy who does spend some time either on a PC or on a console for a significant amount of time on a weekly basis. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If he kind of like was laughing along with Conan and kind of like shitting on the game as well, well then shame on him, because if there's anybody of the two of them who should understand what's going on, it's him. And I'm not saying that he should have gone to bat for the game. I'm just saying that like don't just bandwagon just because you're sitting with Conan and Conan's
No,
being-
his stuff was pretty legitimate though. When some of the stuff he said was like having that whole like monster come out and then have it just be gone and realize that was a reveal of a later battle that's going
Right.
to be like 3 real days
That's
of
fair.
fighting.
That's fair.
Like Elijah was like, that was underwhelming basically, and he was right. And that's okay if you're in. How do you test a game that with that many hours? Like you can't.
So here's the other thing too, is that it's this whole thing, it's edited, it's cut down, like the
Yeah.
whole thing is taken out of context. Everything
Right.
that you're seeing is taken
Right.
out of context.
Yeah, but the context that they gave us at the end was like they ended up playing this game longer than any other game they played for Clueless Gamer.
Just to get an idea of
yeah,
what
just
it was.
to understand
Sure,
the
sure.
demo or something.
And
like
they
that.
fine.
probably
And
still didn't get enough
Right,
to
but-
make a good.
Newsflash, it's a fucking Final Fantasy game.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's going to take a little bit. It
Sure.
probably comes with more than one disc.
I don't know. I honestly, I like how that little bit that he's doing. I get why he does it. Is it to appeal to a younger audience? I don't know. Now that he's on TBS and everything, there's a certain like niche demographic that he's appealing to in this, and it's mostly because that other dude, the white-haired, goateed guy, probably just wants free games. Who's like the producer of that segment or whatever, and that's cool too because that guy actually knows what he's talking about most of the time from a very general level or whatever. But I get it. At the same time, it's still, I don't know, I'm not going to stop watching Conan because he didn't like Final Fantasy 15.
I think
like, fuck that, dude. Like,
This strangely relates back to the topic we had last week that we didn't do a good job of explaining, I feel like, where it's a bunch of people who don't necessarily play games playing this game, and we're under the expectation
Good call.
that these mechanics are necessary for games to make them fun or something, but you throw a non-gamer in there, they don't understand what the hell the point of this is or something, because
That's a good point.
it doesn't make sense. I mean, we have a lot of things we throw out the window because we're gamers. We're like, oh, I can accept that I can't jump in this game because that would break the game or something.
Right.
Like, you throw somebody else in this game, you're like, I can jump in Mario, why can't I jump
Why
in this
can't
game?
I jump in this game?
the constraints are specific to each experience.
There's also the thing of like of any sort of RPG, but Final Fantasy in particular, I mean, when you strap in to play a game like that, you're in for the long haul, and there's a lot of ups and downs, and even emotionally, and even the way you feel about the game. Like, I imagine that playing that game for a few hours and getting to the part where you push a car, even if you love the game, you're gonna be like, fuck this game, they're making me push a car, and then you keep playing because you don't actually hate it. You're just going through the emotions they're making you go through, and it makes you react.
Do you know what that means?
And like,
good. That's good design.
In a way, yes. Depends on who's playing it. But then you can imagine like watching somebody play a game for a really long time, and then you're the editor who has to scrape out the funny bits, and they end up being the parts where you just have a gut bitch reaction about like something like, oh, I'm pushing a fucking car, or like whatever.
Yeah. Well, the rest of the skit was probably like, oh, that's interesting dialogue or something. If they came up with something like you said, it's like they can't show all of the playthrough because it's so long. They can only show the stuff that's funny, and the funniest stuff was them ragging on the game.
Going to be when you're complaining about something,
right? That edited cut is made for a mass audience, not the niche audience that actually gives a shit about Final Fantasy 15. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, people who were going to play it anyway are most certainly not going to be deterred by that.
No, definitely
First of all, right? And people who were on the fence, I don't imagine that would sway anyone in either direction.
I'm certainly not going to, as a discerning video game consumer, player, and developer, like, I feel like Conan O'Brien is the last person in the world that's ever going to tell me what I'm going to like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to still play the shit that I like, and that's that. You know what I mean?
Although I will say that, isn't there like kind of... this is like the inverted bell curve problem with his sketch, or the point of diminishing returns. When is a clueless gamer who continually plays games no longer be clueless about gaming? There has to be a moment when he just becomes
is that under the assumption that it is like if you become a non-clueless gamer that you stop watching the segment?
No, for him.
Oh, okay.
No, like at some point he's going to understand that you can jump in a lot of video games, and then he's not as clueless about video games.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
you can't take someone who's clueless about something. How do you fix being clueless or naive to something? Is you have them do it, experience, and he's getting exactly that when he does these segments.
It's true.
I don't think
how long can he do?
I don't think he plays the games enough though. It's more like
I thought he was a gamer though.
I don't know.
I feel like the whole thing is a big.
I mean,
it's a lie.
It's possible,
Yeah.
but if you look at it as it were real, him just sitting down to play like a random game every week or something. I don't know how often does he do that.
I'm not. I don't watch enough Conan to tell you. Yeah, like he does a show 4 or 5 nights a week, 4 nights a week. I think.
So if those were his only times playing the game, I do not think he could play enough of one game to like become familiar enough with the mechanics of it to relate it to the mechanics of another game or something. I just don't. Maybe there's not enough exposure there. Maybe after enough time with different games of the same genres.
At some point, there's a point of diminishing.
At some point, I think.
I think you're right, and he does it as often as the developer or the publisher is willing to come to them and pay him to showcase the game, and that's what this is about. It's about exposure. It's not about his reaction. Final Fantasy 15 now has that many more people that know about it. And that's what they're banking on, not the review that
still
Conan got
sit
out of
there
it.
and bitch about it, and it's hilarious because
I bitched about Final Fantasy games. I still love that series, but there are bad Final Fantasy games.
No, I mean people complaining about Conan, not about the game.
Sure, okay.
And I think the funniest part about that is how long is it going to take us to realize that no publicity is bad publicity? I mean, how many times do you have?
Sure.
It's a fucking like it's. A phrase in our it's an expression, and yet people are still like, oh my god, I've got to rage about this bad publicity. It's like it's a fucking expression in our language. It clearly
and that's the thing. It's like Conan can literally sit there and shit all over Square Enix's face, and Square Enix is going to sit there and like give him a
retweet
a shit smeared thumbs up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like woo, you know, like let's do this. You know what I mean? So
it's why I talk so much shit about Nintendo. It's not going to affect their sales.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
You're helping.
I'm helping Nintendo by disapproving of their product.
We're here to help.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Hey, just so you know, this season you may not be able to get a Nintendo Classic for Christmas.
You know what really upsets me is that this thing is awesome and that people are loving it, and and they're mad because Nintendo didn't make enough of them. I'm like, fuck you. Like honestly, you guys, everybody
bitches you a fucking Raspberry Pi again.
Seriously,
we want to have this conversation.
Why you have a Raspberry Pi?
No. The
Do you download games?
The problem is it. It conveniently always seems like Nintendo short stocks their products when they try to sell them.
I worked at GameStop for years, and I know for a fact that that's what they do to create publicity.
Yeah, they do not make enough for their fans because they don't want to get it to all their fans. They want their fans to fucking like buy them on eBay for $260.
And here's the parallel between the thing. It's like I honestly don't give a shit what Nintendo's like marketing strategies are. What I care about is that everybody, including us, rags on Nintendo all the time about their fucking decision and like why they do shit the way they do it. And when they do something cool, people still find a way to fucking bitch about it. Like
well, it's because this isn't cool though.
No, it's not cool for them to create artificial demand for a product that they could release that I could download and play on my computer.
And within a week, Walmart or Target or whoever is already guaranteeing like them for the holiday season and or Black Friday. So who gives a shit? Like
that worked really well for the fucking like controller adapter for the Wii and the GameCube.
Are you talking about the Wii or the Wii U?
I'm talking about the Wii when they came out with a controller adapter.
The Wii Me.
So I could plug in my GameCube controller and play Smash Brothers. And they made like 5 of them, and you couldn't buy them anywhere. And it was like the most
they totally operate on the tick. They want to create the tickle me Elmo syndrome all the time.
Yeah, and
like when the next time one gets released on a shelf, people will fight over it so that it'll make the news and blah blah blah.
That's dedication to your fan base right there to get them to fight over your products.
But how are they?
It's clear that's what they do.
So Conan, huh, guys?
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Publicity and stuff.
Publicity, yeah. It doesn't... I'm just saying, like, people will still love Nintendo, and it's fine. Like, I'll talk about Nintendo. If I say
love Nintendo. Nintendo's great.
If people say bad things about Nintendo, people will come back and say, like, I love Nintendo, and then they're going to go buy more Nintendo things because I made them upset that people don't like Nintendo, so they have to spread Nintendo around the world.
I want to know how many times he's just said Nintendo.
Well, it's a...
I hear what you're saying.
It's a feeling, not a thing. Nintendo.
I hear you, but I'm not listening to you.
There's stuff happening in your mouth right now.
What? Number 2.
Ooh, really? Oh, God.
That was terrible.
You said it, not me.
The second.
Yeah. A trial is currently underway. The FBI is charging a group of 4 Texan hackers for building a tool that exploited the FIFA coin system to steal upwards of $20 million from EA, the makers of FIFA. One could infer they decided to use microtransactions in their favor. The FBI has seized millions from their accounts, some fancy cars, and one member of the group has already pled guilty. Guys, I mean, there's clearly fraud here. They got the coins, and then they sold them via a plethora of third-party markets. I think we're in the wrong business here. We should be just hacking tools and stealing money from... No, we shouldn't. Why make games when we could just steal from everybody else, right, guys? So I want to know if EA deserved this, despite the actual illegality of it. Is there anything redeeming about these...
Do they deserve it?
No, probably not. Nobody deserves to be stolen from, really.
Let's not go down that road.
No, we're not going to go down that road. I think this was kind of interesting only in the sense it's like, I was reading an article where the head of EA marketing right now, or just the main guy, I forget what his name is, Andrew Wilson, I think his name is was talking about how like in the future is everybody, like our lives are just going to be video games all the time, and everything's going to be gamified, and this is how it's going to and then I was reading this, and then I was like...
half the country said no.
right. God damn it. And then I read this article almost immediately after. I'm like, I feel like these guys are just taking advantage of the fact that maybe you were right. I don't know. I'm a little bit remiss to say this, but I struggle to find any merit in stealing a bunch of money because you know how to use a computer better than other people. But at the same time,
are they stealing money or are they making money?
Yeah, let's
because they know how to use a computer better.
Well,
I know how to use a computer better. It's like
let's break down how they did it real quick.
Sure. I want to know
that. So basically,
they built a tool.
The way that the game works is that you earn what are they called? Coins.
They're FIFA coins.
FIFA coins. Yeah. When you play matches, if you play enough matches, you start to gather FIFA coins.
Or you can pay real world money for them.
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
You see, if you don't want to pay any money, you just play a lot of the game. And then you get these coins, and the coins can be used to purchase items in the game. This sounds awfully familiar. Whatever. But then, yes, you can pay real money to get the same coins to buy that kind of stuff. So at some point, real money can translate into a new
effort,
skin, or whatever. So these guys were able to figure out how to send requests to the servers with the right packaged information and data that makes it think they just played a game.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't. And then they just spam it until they gather coins. And they gathered them by the millions. And then they took those coins, and it is legal to resell your coins.
Okay.
So, like, if you actually put a lot of work into FIFA and you had a bunch of
gray
coins,
market shit. Yeah.
you can do the gray market thing of, like, reselling them on eBay. And they were doing that with these coins that they harvested or mined by hacking the server and telling it they played, like, 100 games that day or whatever.
That's in that process is where the fraud lies, is by lying to the servers with this
The
tool.
fraud lies in if they broke their EULA with EA by doing that.
They absolutely
Which I
did.
assume they did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So then, yeah, they're guilty. I mean,
Yeah.
Sure.
You broke. Okay, so
That's not necessarily the question here, but that is for the listener's sake. Like, that's how they did it. You know
It's
what I mean?
kind of like printing counterfeit money, but more like you broke into a place where they print real money and you printed a bunch of money while it was closed.
I think there's a couple layers of abstraction here. Yeah, for sure. But
So it's real money, but it's not your money.
it's 4 guys. They made like upwards of $20 million. Like when the FBI got involved, because obviously, like, over a certain amount of money, the FBI
They can
has
smell
to get
money.
involved.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, they have a money sniffing dog that just shows up. It looks like McGruff.
It's not hard to spot people who suddenly buy nice cars and have millions of dollars in their
This
bank
guy's like
account.
21
I
years
don't
old,
understand
and
that.
all they did was play FIFA, and then all of a
It's
sudden,
like,
this guy
dude,
driving a Lamborghini. It's like,
Put it in a mattress.
well, that's the thing. Like, I'm reading some of the comments in this article is really funny. It's like, mistake number 1, you put it in a bank.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, totally. So,
How do you file your taxes? Like, how do you even...
right. You went from $36 in your account to $5 million in the course of 48 hours.
Your mom claimed you as a dependent.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, it's true. These guys are going to go to jail.
Yes, they are.
I mean, I don't think that's really necessarily in question.
there'll be some plea or something, probably.
But I get the part of me that actually wanted to include this as part of a topic for the show is that, like, this would have been a lot cooler if there was like some sort of like Robin Hood element to it,
Where they gave the money back.
right? As like some sort of protest against microtransactions, like predatory microtransactions. Like, that would have been cooler. Not just getting rich and buying Lamborghinis. Fucking ridiculous. You know? I mean, I get it, but like,
That's high schooler. That's like,
I think these guys are all pretty young.
it's like, I found an unlocked car. Let me drive it around for a little while. It's like that's how kids think. Like, that's childish. It's like, it's just not
Right, it's not my fault. Like, they don't
It's not
understand the
my fault.
concept
It's
of,
like-
like...
Even if they're not young, it's a pretty young fucking
Yeah.
thing to do. Yeah.
It was my favorite phrase is keeping an honest man honest, right? I lock my door when I leave my house because I want to keep an honest man honest. I know full fucking well that if somebody wants to break into my home, they'll have the appropriate tools to do so, regardless of whether I lock the door. But I avoid the problem of creating a criminal that was too dumb to realize they were a criminal, or some kid who...
You could
like,
argue that that's a civic duty that you just
in a way,
provided.
like, I don't want some 16-year-old to get their entire life off track because they saw my door swing open when they pressed on the handle trying to doorbell ditch me and went, oh, I'm going to go in here instead and like
see
get
what
caught.
I can take. Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean,
That's how people think, though. Like,
which is why I lock my door.
That's do. The more you know,
I was
Rainbow.
just trying to help. Yeah.
That's why you lock your door.
And that's why EA... No, I don't know.
And that's I don't know. So the testimony for the trial has been ongoing for the past couple of days. They're going to have a bunch of the security team from EA on board, and like I mentioned at the top of this topic, one of the 4 has already pled guilty. So I don't know if that's indicative of the way this is going to shake out, but assets have been
if they're
seized. I'm
young-
sure EA is going to get their money. I don't know how young or how old, so I'm not sure if they're going to be tried as juveniles or whatever. But that's a lot of fucking money. Like, I'm not sure even EA is savage enough to try and like have these guys put away for the maximum amount. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that they'll be like, you're never allowed to have an EA account again or use a computer for a very long time.
Did you ever see the movie Blank Check? As
Yeah.
a kid? How did that movie end? I don't remember. I mean, that's basically the same thing.
I don't remember either. I remember him having his own
Did he
McDonald's.
have to give the
I
money
remember
back?
that.
Did he have to give the money back?
I don't know. He wrote it for
spent
$1
all the
million.
money, right.
Yeah, he spent $1 million of some
Right.
criminal's money, or some guy who was trying to steal money from a bank, I think.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, the kid ended up stealing money from the bank also.
He stole from the thief.
Who stole it from a bank? So he stole it.
He stole from a
He
bank.
stole from the bank in a way. Regardless, it's the bank's money.
But there was a middleman involved. But yes, technically,
Correct.
right. Okay.
It would get messy in the trial or something, but he's a kid, so it worked out in the end. But
If this, okay. If this was a group of 6-year-olds that wrote an awesome fucking tool that basically just like DDoSed the server and told them that
You're
these
going
are
where I'm going,
right? Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, but no, wait. I let me flip this on its head and go. How did EA not notice this, for one? And two, if they were young, did they really write something that was that easy to fucking... Like...
Okay, I actually have a theory on it, though.
Okay.
FIFA is the most popular video game on the planet.
Okay.
Because soccer is the most popular sport in the world. Sorry, football. So it's understandable that they're getting pinged, like their servers are getting pinged at probably a very consistent rate. You know what I mean? And I would imagine that the guys that made this tool were not... having a dramatic enough effect on the ping rate to throw any red flags at the security team. You know what I mean?
Okay, so basically we're dealing with Office Space.
Sure,
where
yes.
they were rounding
shaving
off
like
the cents off
like
of the thing.
0.01 cent of every
and then
penny.
One day they accidentally like moved the decimal over one. I was like, oh fuck!
I think the amount of time that transpired was a lot shorter, but yes,
right. They look at their bank account and suddenly there's millions in there.
Right.
And they went, oh whoops!
Yeah. Now they're working construction.
Yeah. Like, seriously, we just like this is real life Office Space.
I feel like you could probably make that correlation.
Lumberg fucked her.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, I just had to throw a quote in.
It's good.
Randomly.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. So actually, that makes this a little bit cooler.
No.
There's nothing cool about this.
Because unless all of them can claim that they went to, a hypnotherapist who made them not care about life anymore,
who passed out and died from a heart attack in mid trance,
they should try it. They should try the hypnotized and then never snapped out of it argument. It's good. They could set a precedent.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jennifer Aniston was involved at any point.
It's the new pleading insanity where you no longer have to be insane.
I was hypnotized, and my hypnotist
died
halfway through, putting me in a state of hypnosis. And
now all I want to do is steal your money and act like a chicken when someone says fritters.
How many times do people say fritters when they don't say chicken?
What, he said it.
I get it. That's why I left.
Where do we go from here,
having a great fucking time, I gotta tell you.
I have KFC. That's the answer to your question, I guess. I don't know.
All right. What kind of fritters?
That's where you
they?
go to get a bowl, chicken bowl.
Yeah, it's a hate crime on yourself. Is what it is. All right. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. We're good. Number 3.
Jeff Keighley, host and producer of the Game Awards, has decided that he's interested in showing more gameplay and less cinematic sizzle. I think I actually pulled that quote directly from the article written by Brian Crescente over at Polygon. In light of the backlash to No Man's Sky, he wants to make sure transparency is still at the forefront for any scale of developer, but in a way that shows a work in progress and less something fans will have to hang their hats on. It sounds like a pretty good idea. In the hopes of jumping off the No Man's Sky bashing train, is this the right way to go? Wouldn't all developers and fans prefer to be more, here's what we're hoping for, than let's make a bunch of empty promises and hope no one notices when we don't deliver? Or even changing the dialogue between don't deliver to things change in development, people should know that. This makes a certain amount of sense, right? So, again, this article is based on the Polygon article, and it's centered around the fact that the Game Awards is obviously going to have a bunch of trailers, because that's kind of part and parcel to what the Game Awards are known for, is the reveal of new games coming out in the next couple years. But they had this problem with No Man's Sky, where they showed a certain trailer years ago, and No Man's Sky wasn't exactly what they showed in that trailer. So, in the effort to kind of, let's say for the benefit of the doubt, increasing consumer knowledge and understanding about how games are made and everything else, he wants to get away from the cinematic stuff, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a certain amount of that still, regardless. That's not going to go away. But also, like, if a game is still in its early to mid development, the thing that we're showing you is more of a reveal that the fact that this is just happening, not necessarily what you can expect when we ship. I feel like this is the right way to go. I really do.
I have a lot of problems with all of this.
Here's my caveat, because don't show a fucking trailer for a game that's not even close to being done.
Yeah, this is where you're going to get into this type of situation where either naturally as a result of this type of change, if everyone let's imagine a world where everyone fell in line with this.
Sure. And there's probably exceptions to the rule, but go ahead.
You're likely going to only see the games that are close to completion at all. Mm-hmm. That's one outcome that you're probably going to see, which is, I guess that might be okay. Just like close your doors until you're ready, that kind of thing, if that's really what they were going to do. Or game companies are going to put a larger effort into pulling the wool over your eyes anyway. Like, don't look off to the side because it'll crash. And so that we still have a live demo of the game, but goddamn if it's not super controlled and very specific to make you think that there's more there than there is. And isn't that what they're trying to fix in the first place? It's just making it more complicated for us to achieve that goal.
You don't feel like this is a step towards some actual honesty from developers to their audience?
Well, see, but the problem with honesty is that gamers are completely unforgiving, so you're not going to want to show them that shit anyway if it's shitty. Like, if you're like, hey, look at this box. You can't even do that as a developer in your own, like, safe space with a friend. Like, the first thing that they notice is the thing you didn't do that you just told them before you hit play. That it's not,
I know this stuff is raw, so don't like hate on me right now. But
it's like, dude, this thing's gonna be a box, and their first question is, "Why is that a box?" And it's like, dude, I oh my god, like now put it on YouTube.
Okay.
So what you want more honesty from developers?
I'm just saying that this is why he's doing it. I'm not saying I want anything. I'm just I think it's very interesting in a way that, especially because the three of us are developers, right? Like, doesn't this make a certain amount of sense? Like, nobody wants to run it nobody wants to recreate the No Man's Sky scenario.
I think everybody wants to create as much hype for the game though as possible. Still,
yeah, but I think we got a real good look about how badly that can go wrong.
No,
when hype gets too big.
They weren't honest with their hype. Like, it kind of snowballed out of control for them.
And there's a lot of different people to blame for that. Yeah. It's not just Hello Games, but I don't necessarily want to focus on No Man's Sky. It's just an example. You know what I mean? So
I think it's a good thought.
Yes. I think this is how it's a direction that we should be exploring.
I'm not denying, that. I think that it's a good thought. But I think that you still have a product to market. And just like anything, there's a reason why fucking Elon Musk with SpaceX built a fake goddamn rocket as a promotional tool, pulled his whole team off of building the actual rocket to make a fake one.
Did that happen?
Yes.
Oh, you're reading the biography. That's why you know that. Okay, yeah, okay.
But still, anecdote.
Sure. It's good. It applies. Go ahead.
There's a reason why companies do that, because they know that people are not as accepting about the real thing that might not be finished versus the thing that's completely not even real but gives them a better representation of what it will look like when it's finished.
Okay.
The important thing is that it's a company's job to do their best to project what that really is. And if they're going to claim that you can make a game where you can go anywhere in the fucking universe and it's all going to be completely unique, then all they did was put themselves in a position where they have to create that. Mm-hmm. And if they pulled off faking it to you, awesome. Then you got to deliver, though. That's the difference.
Okay,
you have to deliver.
No, I agree. But so here's the thing. It's like, but why would you put yourself in a position where you can't deliver on the thing? Like, if you're gonna straight up fucking lie, somebody's gonna fucking find out.
It shouldn't be a lie.
Because gamers are not
future projection.
It probably doesn't start. It doesn't start.
I'm sure it didn't. I'm sure it didn't start out that way. What I'm saying is, like, but like you just said, gamers are unfucking forgiving.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and so specifically speaking to this industry at all, why would you put yourself in a corner that you cannot get out of? By showing a trailer 2 years before you release a fuck, and I'm talking about I'm talking about any game at this point. You know
I agree.
what I mean?
I would rather be silent, but if you get pressure from a publisher or something to release something, then you will, and you'll come up with something that works. The point is not to lie about what you're making. You make something that might be unfinished, and you do create something quote unquote fake because it's supposed to represent what you're working towards. Mm-hmm. The point is that you have to be very, very smart about making sure you actually make that something you're working towards. And that's where certain companies fuck up. Right?
And here's the rub, I think, is that, like, if you're going to do that, then you need to play into the world that maybe you're working on, not the actual gameplay or the look or the feel.
That's helpful. Very helpful.
Like, stick to your narrative, stick to your fiction, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't feel like you should, I don't know, don't give away the goose before it's hatched. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. Like, don't promise something that you, like, because we all know. But even when you're making a movie, like people see dailies all the time and stuff, but it's not like the fucking director or the studio is out there like releasing that shit online like the first month of fucking production. You know what I mean? Like even Hollywood understands this. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I don't.
That's why I think games should be more like that.
More like Hollywood.
Less.
It's cool
like,
that this thing is in production. Like this IP is in production, and we've known about it for years or whatever, and that's fine. But we don't know anything about it. Maybe we know who's working on it, and that's it.
Yeah. But I don't need to tease you that far in advance.
That's what
Movies
I'm saying.
don't do it.
That's
They're
what
not
I'm
going to
saying.
release a scene that's not finished. They're not going to, like most movies aren't going to play on that because they give away things too, and so it's just not really worth it.
Sure.
And
instead, we get trailers that give away the entire movie, like when they actually come out now.
I don't think we should take all the pages from
No,
Hollywood's
not at
book.
all. And to be fair, the games industry is a unique thing in its own right. Like, but there are like, I don't know. We've talked about this ad nauseum on the show. And like, there are certain parallels and overall like overlap in the Venn diagram between movies and games. You know what I mean? Or at least I like to think so. And so, like for me, it's like if a movie takes an extended period amount of time to make, and you could arguably say that it's probably on a timeline, it's a shorter amount of time to make a movie than it is to make most games, depending on the game that you're making. Let's say like a higher profile game, a larger, bigger project.
Okay, sure. I think they might fall pretty close in line. It's probably cool to look at them very similarly.
Okay, I think depending on, like if you're including pre-production and filming and post-production, I think that's maybe you're probably
if you
maybe
include all the stages, I think the actual production
about the
stage of
same, yeah.
movies is
Okay,
probably shorter
okay.
than a game.
Then let's say that.
But
Sure.
But yeah.
But
Not by enough to say we can't compare them.
Right. But when you're doing that kind of stuff, like I think it's rare. I mean, it happens. It does happen, but it's rare when you have a director or a studio out there kind of like tweeting stuff about the thing that there isn't even shooting yet or isn't even in production. You know what I mean? Or even like you wait till post-production because you're like starting to cut stuff together and you're starting to do your like audio and you got the orchestra over in the studio doing the soundtrack and yay, you know what I mean? Like all the actors are done. It's all shot. All the footage is on the floor and we're cutting it together. You know what I mean?
But you guys are making a comparison between Hollywood and No Man's Sky, and I don't think that's...
I don't want to...
No, I get that, but I think we're making a comparison between Hollywood and like the indie...
I'm just saying Hollywood and games in general.
I don't think it generally is comparable to games in general,
especially independent games.
Independent games,
right.
because Hollywood
right.
is the giant publishers of games. They design movies by polls and stuff. They don't, or they put out movies by polls. They don't put out what's necessarily a great movie.
Sure.
And that's what large companies do. And companies like No Man's Sky, they don't have that. They don't.
And I understand the desire for transparency. Especially
AAA games act more like Hollywood, though, in that sense.
What's that?
AAA.
Oh yeah, definitely they do. Yeah.
This might be a leap, but I have a feeling like people have an understanding about how movies are made, and therefore are a little bit less curious unless there's a certain IP that they're like super in favor of. When it comes to games, though, I think there's still a lot of like black box shit for the general
this ad
public.
nauseum as well in the show,
But this is why people are calling for such a larger piece of transparency in gaming, and so that like everybody knows what's happening on any given moment on any game that's in development. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing in theory.
But it's
also very dangerous.
It seems like it's easier to understand a movie, I feel like, than a video game. I mean, movies, it's
an established industry as well.
It's established. It's been around a lot longer.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it's a little bit more easy to understand that actors stand behind a camera and they act out these scenes. Mm-hmm. It's not that simple, obviously.
Yeah, there's tons of nuance.
There's tons of things that go into it, of course. But a video game is completely fake reality. Like, it's like when somebody jumps behind camera, you expect them to like fall down and hit the ground or something. They don't understand what the physics goes into that. It's just something. It's something they understand.
Yeah.
We all understand it based on like just growing up. It's like, oh, when you jump up, you fall down or something. In a video game, the laws of physics don't apply. Like, we make everything up. Like, and
like you don't know that actor even goes behind a wall and suddenly is no longer even.
You don't even understand when you're looking when you're looking at something behind you may not even exist anymore. Like, it's all smoke and mirrors.
It only exists in your mind.
Yeah.
If it's not on the screen, it probably doesn't.
And
fucking
the
exist
physics we're using to move your bullets around is not the same physics you're using to jump. Like, it's
let alone happen over a network when you're playing multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is different.
It's different. It's newer and it's harder to understand than movies because movies have been out for a lot
that's what
longer.
I'm saying.
The barrier of entry for that is that you have to first explain how we're creating this reality to you in the first place before we can even explain.
But that's why the desire, and that's what I'm trying. That's my point. Is that the desire for transparency is so much more for games right now than maybe for movies, and that's why people are like they want to know how this shit happens.
But should that transparency occur at a game trailer level?
That's what I'm asking.
That's the thing where no. No.
Okay.
Because a movie doesn't do that. A movie doesn't release a trailer before the movie.
A lot of times they
pretty much
release
ready.
featurettes though that have like actors talking about
Yeah,
it.
they're no
before.
longer than a trailer, and this
those
was
are okay.
broken into the production of the movie. Like, we're gonna do this, and then account for it. You know what I mean? As the movie's getting produced, like, we're not gonna you can't show these things. You have this allotted amount of time to talk with this actor during this shooting schedule. Like, it's all planned out. Like, it's all very very
And
understood.
on that note, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like the transparency still needs to be there, because I don't like when game companies have to go completely dark and can't share a damn thing about anything they're doing at all.
And that happens. That still happens.
Yes, it does. I don't. It's okay. It's a byproduct of the industry in a way,
I
but
don't mind
that's
it.
probably the part that could change. But it's not something that needs to change on a public-facing trailer level. Like,
Sure.
like public-facing in that if someone was looking for it, they could find it. Meaning, if you were a gamer that cared, you could see what I was working on once every week or something, and get a feel for what it takes to do this, knowing it's incomplete, knowing that it doesn't work, not something that we're gonna like display at a game. Like,
Right. We're not gonna give you something to expect because we're not even sure what to expect. But here you go, like that kind of thing.
Like, I don't like the idea of putting a lot of effort into a game that's really, really unfinished to make you think it's finished. That I don't love.
Yeah, because that in itself is a lie. That's the lie right there.
That's the lie.
Yeah.
Or to assume that you're really going to pull off all the stuff that you're not entirely sure you can deliver on.
So much stuff can go wrong or differently or whatever.
Yeah, but the problem is that in movies, that transparency does come through when you have a Twitter account and you're constantly tweeting about, like what you did on set today and what was accomplished here and there.
That's something we could do in the video game industry, though.
That is the argument I'm making.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
I honestly,
think that
I
we
wish
could do
Chris
it
was here
more.
because he could probably speak to it. Because Bosky does a good job of this.
Bosky does it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I don't think companies put enough effort towards it. Like, it'd be cool to have a division, like a section in your company that is just the, like, if we had like a podcast after work where people just kind of like talked about the things they worked on a little bit, like in general, it'd be really helpful, I think. Like, you don't go into the details or kind of like explain what your, I don't know, like what the overall goal is. Like, today I worked on character animations or something. It's like, we had to do this because people need to get in and out of cover and something, and we wanted them to choose different types of animations or something. And like, that's the kind of general information that I feel like would really benefit the
people who are interested.
in that kind of stuff.
It's a niche thing at that point. You know what I mean? But and that's the weird disconnect too, because it's like we treat this like everybody wants to know what the fuck is going on, and in reality, like there's only like it's a small amount of people. You know what I mean? It's not that it's probably bigger than ever, but it's still a relatively small amount of people that want to know these intricate things of like how a day to day works at a game studio or whatever.
That will grow as a result of
it has been, and it has been.
information,
I
right?
agree. But
then I also think you're also going to get the people who are going to see that information and not understand it
Sure.
or consume it in the way we want it to, and then they would.
And we're also talking about intellectual property, and that's when shit gets dangerous and legality and everything. Like, because as soon as you start like revealing certain things, like that's when that puts that kind of stuff in jeopardy,
And it puts pressure-
publishers and companies get real fucking like worried about.
For good fucking reason, because you've got competitors who might be able to look at it and say, well, we could
domestic
throw more,
and offshore.
we could throw more people at this and probably pull off what I just heard it is that they're working on and get it out, ship
Exactly
it before
right.
they ship it. And then it's such a fucking weird thing, because I totally
It's
want
treacherous,
transparency,
man.
but
It's
I
super treacherous.
understand exactly what that risk is. If I start, especially as an indie studio who does it more than any other, right? Like, indies are definitely the ones who are stepping up right now and being like, this is what I did today.
Because they have to
Here's
figure out ways to drum up
screenshot
interest.
Saturday. Like,
Absolutely, sure.
like
Early fucking access, like
yeah,
all
they
that.
do that stuff all the time, and some of these like indie devs, they don't have the manpower to put a game out any quicker than any other studio with like 10 developers versus their one, and that's scary. It's a scary thought, and there have been many. And sometimes they've been chance, but like an indie dev puts out a game and then finds out that, a week before they release, there was one that was pretty much the same, but done by a larger studio and had more features. And
Didn't the opposite happen? Overwatch came out, and then somebody put out a game that's like essentially Overwatch, like right after it.
Well, there's been a bunch of
guys-
games that have come out. I mean, Overwatch is basically Team Fortress too, which came out.
Okay, fair. Yeah,
a long time
excellent
ago.
point. Excellent
It's
point.
like-
No, that's fair.
yeah.
There's a Flappy Bird clone inside of a Steam VR demo. It's like you can play Flappy Bird in VR
That sounds
on a computer in
like this
VR.
stuff.
On a computer that contains 2 buttons.
VR doesn't make me sick, but I feel like that would be
And you
sick.
you karate chop the keys.
No, it wouldn't make you sick because you're looking at a fake computer screen playing fake
Oh, I
Flappy
thought
Bird.
you were Flappy Bird.
No,
like,
no,
Oh, it's super
no.
meta.
Okay.
No, it's
Got
you
it,
playing
got it,
Flappy
got it.
Bird in in an office.
I can't wait to see that trailer.
It's called Work Simulator.
Did you guys look at the Game Award nominees this year at all?
I have not had
Okay.
a chance to look at it yet.
You
They
guys
were
should look at
announced like a few days ago, right?
Yeah, yesterday or the day before,
Oh,
like
okay.
within the past 48 hours.
So I'm not that late on the train.
No, you're not.
I don't know.
There's actually not that like we got a couple of minutes here. before
Pokemon
we
hasn't
move
even
on,
come
but-
out yet. How can there be a list?
Oh my god.
Fine, fine. All right. They do some interesting things. I feel like the esports awards are interesting because it's like the same 5 games every year. You know what I mean? Like except for Overwatch is in there now. You know what I mean?
So that's kind of a big
But it's like
accomplishment.
it's like
did it-
Dota and it's Counter Strike.
Did it boot like
and
the
it's
first StarCraft off or something this time?
I guess so.
It's
I
probably
didn't
like
compare it to last
StarCraft
year.
2, Dota 2.
StarCraft 2 wasn't on there this year.
Oh no.
I'm almost positive.
Okay,
it's
so
like
that's the one that
it's
bumped.
Counter Strike Go. It's
Counter-Strike Go,
Dota,
League of
Overwatch, League, and
That sounds alright.
something else. I forget.
If it's something else, it's probably not.
It might have been, I don't know. It might have been first person, like another first person shooter. I'm not sure. Anyway, but they also, I don't know
Was
if they
it,
did this last year.
Splatoon,
Yeah.
because they tried.
They did.
Nice.
And
Best thing
as far
they've
as I know,
released for a
it's
while.
still going, but I just to a much smaller audience. That's fine.
I feel like the articles I run into on Splatoon are here's why Splatoon won't work for esports.
Oh,
It's like
really? Is that-
always-
okay.
Yeah, I just
Fair enough.
constantly see
Because
that.
Nintendo doesn't know how to work networks.
Oh no,
Just
don't get on the Nintendo train.
I know. Anti Nintendo train. But they also did like a cool the category that I'm actually most interested in is the fact that like there's a mod, like best mod category.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Which is
yeah.
super cool. It's like even I think there was one that was on it that was like it was actually shut, like the game. Oh, Pokemon Uranium, which was like shut down. It was like took like 10 years to develop, and as soon as it came out, Nintendo was like, "Fuck you, you're done."
Yeah, they didn't wait till like.
I
remember reading about that like 10 years ago
for a game award,
Yeah.
which is fucking cool. Like I you know what I mean? Like at least somebody's willing to acknowledge the work that went in, even if they're never going to make a goddamn dime off it.
Yeah,
Poor
Nintendo's
guys.
great for waiting until you're done with your project before letting you know that you can't release it.
That sucks.
It's exactly
That's
what they do. They
depressing.
did that
Episode 119.
They did it with
Nick
this-
uses Nintendo like a diaper. Like Jesus.
That's what they did with this Pokemon game. They did exactly that. I mean, I remember reading about that like 10 years ago when it was first in development. I was like, oh, this looks like the most recent
It was
Pokemon
probably a
game
thing
at
where
the
it's like,
time.
oh, these guys will never finish that, and they didn't worry until it happened. And then,
But that is
They had
the
to do
problem,
something about
right?
it, yeah.
These guys will never finish it. Not worth our time when they could have silenced them early and let them have, I don't know, a fucking life.
all you have to do
Instead
is
of like dedicating themselves to something for 10 years.
you
and
don't
then-
think even if they had that life, they wouldn't have still like. I mean, this is a passion project, and they wouldn't have just done it anyway. For
with
their
Maybe
own.
they
with
would've
how
spent their
compliant
time-
they were in response to Nintendo telling them they couldn't do anymore.
You
I
guys
feel
might-
like they
I'm
might
just
have
saying.
said they might have stopped.
I think it took a
production.
lot of love for this thing to happen, and I'm just saying whether or not they were allowed to or not, they were going to do it one way.
I don't know. Maybe they would have thought that they could spend their time better like mining coins in FIFA instead of.
Jesus Christ.
They're waiting. Do you guys remember that Zelda thing that's coming out in Unreal? Nintendo's waiting for that one to
I
release.
was actually gonna say that.
Okay.
Remember how we haven't heard anything about them like talking about that at all? When that starts coming out, that's going to be the
Yeah,
next
but
one.
for now they're like, let them fart around.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's all.
What
good.
was the last one that did it for? Like, I think it was like either Metroid or
Maybe we should put like a Nintendo like you know how like Blizzard always does the cow level in Diablo games and stuff like that. Maybe
I love
in
those.
our game we should do like a Zelda level or like a Mario level just for fucking shits and
Yeah,
giggles.
that'll go over well. Oh no! You said Mario. Maybe people think you can jump in our game. You're giving away information.
No, you
Or
are now.
are
because,
you?
right? You'll never know. Anyway, all right. We're gonna move on. That was good. That was good. That was a good one. I
That's
like
not
that
bad.
time. That was a good one. It's time for lightning round, everybody. Here's how it works. We're gonna take 2 quick topics and give each member of the panel a minute to chime in, uninterrupted for the most part. At the end of each minute, we will award each panelist a quantity of some type of points based on nothing in particular. You gentlemen will have the shared duty of awarding me points. It would normally be the guest, but be our sans guest this evening. So
cool.
It's up to you guys. All right. Topic A, or is it the fourth?
It's A.
We're gonna debate this.
Is it A now?
LA. LRA.
All right.
LA.
Okay.
At long last, everybody, the playground swing has gotten its just desserts. After years of being snubbed by the Toy Hall of Fame, and not to mention it just being a device that holds literal butts, the Hall of Fame has finally inducted it into its hallowed halls. It joins the likes of G.I. Joe, Frisbee, and the Game Boy. Not a Nintendo, just a Game Boy, guys. How fucking Nintendo. How overdue is this? Is there a more deserving piece of playground equipment? If you take umbrage with this, why? I'm curious. Mr. Golesh.
Hey, how's it going?
Talk to me for 60 seconds about the swing getting into the Toy Hall of Fame.
This is about damn time, I think. I think we've all been waiting for this. Like, I mean...
Fingers crossed, bated breath.
Since this thing first came out, I mean, we've all been petitioning for the swing to get into the Hall of Fame for as long as possible. I mean, Atari's there, the Game Boy's there, fucking Jacks and shit. I'm surprised Pogs were not there, which is a little bit funny, but I guess that's basically Jacks, so fuck our generation. I don't know. It's fun to see these little things once in a while. Like I saw this article. I was like, oh, it's cool that we're celebrating play, because that's basically what this museum is. It's a museum of play and games and stuff, and that's our business. It's like play, have some fun.
Okay.
Not pause, play.
Okay.
And go outside.
Yeah.
And go outside.
Play 60. NFL Play 60.
Hashtag it.
Get outside 60 minutes a week to...
a week. 60 minutes a week?
A day.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it changes as you get older.
Especially if you play video games. I will award you a set of Overwatch Pogs.
Are any of them like some of the shiny golden ones or something, or like metallic, or
they come with all the different skins that you could possibly
any kind I want?
Like the Oni skin for fucking what's his name, the robot samurai guy.
Genji.
Yeah, the Oni skin, which is supposed to be very popular right now.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Who gives a shit?
Next.
Oh, speaking of which, free weekend on consoles.
Yep.
Overwatch this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a console.
Too bad I'm playing it on PC.
Mr. Arroyo.
Oh.
60 seconds about the swing, getting into the Toy Hall of Fame.
I want to know if the slip and slide is in the Toy
It is not.
Hall of Fame.
Negative.
Okay. That's fucking weird because
I don't even know what the slide is.
yeah, I was gonna move to the slide as well.
Is there a more deserving piece of playground equipment?
Well, there you go. Slip and slide all day long, because who doesn't want to tear their ass open when they're sliding down their friend's backyard and realize they left a rock underneath it? Yeah, you got. Well, that's bad too, because either way it sucks. But when it doesn't do that, it's great. Should the swing be in there? Fuck yeah, because who hasn't played on a swing? I mean, some people might skip certain parts of the playground, but everyone gets on a swing at some point or another, and I think us fellow swingers need to be appreciated. Maybe we could have some type of a gathering where all of us fellow swingers come together and meet for some type of party.
You're
maybe
done.
where we realize we
Call
have
it.
something in common.
You're done. It's over.
What you just did? Can I reward him? No, you can go. I don't care.
I'm going to award you the Academy Award-winning biopic directed by Jon Favreau.
Okay. Swingers.
Swingers.
Also, not
It's
the context that the joke was. Okay,
Nope,
that works too.
I get it. I know.
No, I like that. Yeah,
He does live-action movies, apparently, though. So
yeah, like Zathura.
I like Jungle Book, which is supposed to be fucking amazing, apparently.
I think you meant to say Jumanji.
No, he didn't do Jumanji.
No, he did Zathura, which is
Zathura.
Jumanji.
It's Jumanji.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fine. Got it.
Come on, right?
Is that the title?
Okay.
Zathura equals Jumanji?
All right, Joe Erskine.
No, I thought
You
it
have
was
1 minute
Frittles.
to talk about how it feels to be a swinger.
As a parent, I am partial to swings because not only did my son start sleeping through the night in one, he enjoys them to this day in our local playground. I am a big fan of swings. I have enjoyed them consistently throughout my life. There was a big break there by the time I was like midway through high school till like I had a child, because now when he's in like the little toddler swing, I sit on the other swings and we swing together. So I've come to appreciate how important a swing is, not only for the physics involved, because like as you're moving forward, you're still pulling back and building momentum in a pendulum sort of way. I think it absolutely deserves to be in the Toy Hall of Fame. I think slides are fucking dumb, and not only does
What
this
about water
not
slides?
only is this inclusive of just like the rubber slat, it's inclusive of tire swings. It's inclusive of rope swings. Like this is all swings matter.
Wow. I I will award you one hammock,
Which is kind of a swing.
which is not quite a swing.
It's kind of a swing.
because if you start swinging, you're doing it wrong.
You can have a gentle rock in a hammock.
It's one of those hammocks that comes with the base, so you can't actually position it on trees. So if you try to swing on it, it'll fall over.
It'll turn it. It's got the aluminum.
It'll just fall over because it's the
Fair
aluminum
enough.
base.
Okay.
It's too light. It can't
Got it.
hold the swinging.
Got it.
That's-
Yeah, one
all
of
right.
those hammocks.
So that sucks.
Enjoy your hammock.
Enjoy your relaxation.
All right.
Get in it and don't fucking move.
Just lay there. Read your dumb, trashy romance novel. All right. A Watch Dogs 2 player decided to share an image of a woman's naughty bits that he found in game. Ubisoft has apparently found a way to render female characters. But I digress. After banning the player for sharing the picture, they patched the game and removed all the female naughty bits across the board. However, they left in all the male naughty bits. They're still there. Dicks out for Watch Dogs, I guess, guys. Help me understand the sense this doesn't make. Should they just put all the lady bits back in and let it be? Yes. I don't get it. Nothing makes sense anymore. Please help. Why can't... if you have a game...
Where are you going first?
I'm going to go for myself first.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. If you have a game that's about technology and taking selfies and all this other stuff, and you go to the trouble of modeling, texturing, and animating penises and vaginas in a game, then and you've included the ability to take pictures of them with your in-game cell phone, whatever. This is all content, and you've encouraged people to share this content. Why are you going to ban a guy for taking a picture of a fake digital vajayjay? And then take the vajayjays out after banning him for doing it, but leave the dicks in, because I'm sure that there's been a bunch of dicks shared in response to this, but also otherwise from Watch Dogs. It doesn't make sense to me. This is bullshit. Ubisoft, god damn it. Just leave the vajayjays alone, man. If you're gonna go to the trouble of having your artists do this work, represent it appropriately in the game. Let people share it the way you intended. That's it. If you have a standards and practices thing that says no dicks and penises in the game and sharing it, then don't fucking render it. Like, don't. Doesn't make sense, guys.
Cool.
Doesn't make sense.
Sounds like you just put a lid on it.
I give you one ESRB rating. Like, I mean, it's it's like,
I'm pretty sure the Watch Dogs 2 has
It
that
is,
rating.
and-
yeah, that's the hilarious part.
It's kind of silly. I agree. Thank you for that,
welcome.
I guess.
That's the funny part is like, hey, it's rated this way, but okay, I'll go, I guess, because I'm talking, but
Okay, go ahead.
it's all right. So I think I mentioned it's like it's rated M. You should understand what you're getting into. I feel like with the ESRB rating, I mean that's what it does. It's there to inform you of what you're getting into. But this is like a weird backwards modding example of what. I'm gonna give you guys this example, and then you guys are gonna think that I did this, but I didn't.
Okay.
So in The Sims,
My friend did it.
no, yeah, I know. My friend did this.
I know a guy.
There's
in
a
the,
guy.
in like games like The Sims, where like you play like different characters, male or female. There are obviously mods that came out for it that involved female or like involved just like removing the mosaic and like including the actual rendering of
The genitalia.
and stuff. Okay. And the huge problem was like, okay, we're not actually going to create these new models to show a penis off because the penis requires extra polygons. Vagina does not. It only requires a texture. And the fact that they only removed the vagina initially makes sense because it's just a texture swap. And then I think the penises are going to leave later because they're going to go back and actually change the models because they're going to have to remove them later. I mean, why would they?
Very good technical response.
It really is. Okay.
So it was an opposite problem because when people were creating NudeyMods for The Sims,
Yeah.
that's our title, NudeyMods.
NudeyMods.
It was a huge problem. Like, oh, we can't really do penises because you just kind of like painted on like the groin of this character because it can't really hang down. There's no balls. There's no extra there's no polygons there for to put the penis on. So you can only have vagina textures.
If penises were just a texture, it would be really fun.
I'm gonna give you
One penis texture.
the hot coffee mod for The Sims.
Yep.
How about that? All right,
Okay.
Mr. Arroyo, finish this off. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down the technical route as well, because I want to. I feel like the article was actually really misleading,
Yeah,
because
it definitely was.
I don't get the idea that they actually designed it to be this way, and I really think this is a byproduct of a very large company where you have this character and you're working on them for a long time, and maybe your boss is none the wiser, but you put in a lot of detail under what's under the skirt and or shorts of whoever this character happens to be. And I think what they were doing was trying to solve a problem as it arose. Like when the moment that they realized that this happened and someone took a picture of this, they were like, well, shit, we never told anyone to do that, or we didn't tell this employee to do it. So let's fix this problem as it comes up, and not realizing that it's indicative of a much larger problem. Indicative of a much larger problem. And then they realized, okay, what we can do is solve this right now with this female character, because it's probably just a texture swap.
But they did it for all female characters.
Well, no, I mean it's easy for it's
Because
a
they
lot
reuse
easier.
models. They
I
reuse
understand.
models.
Yeah.
But still, so there's a very simple fix to do that, to squash the problem that's in front of them right now. And they did make a public statement that they were going to look into making corrections in the future that would fall in line with their agreements. So if that means that leaving the penises for a moment so that they don't have to swap models, I understand.
It should be noted they still banned this fucking player for posting the picture.
No, I know.
They unbanned him, by the way.
They
He's
went
not
back.
They've retracted the ban, or they've shortened it, or I don't know.
No, they got rid of it completely.
Oh,
First,
they take it back.
they
Yeah.
added length to it, and then they removed it. I can't keep doing this. This is too hard.
Doctors hate him. Click here to find out now.
This is way too
know
hard,
why.
guys.
God damn it.
Dicks.
Yeah, are
Dicks.
I'm gonna award you a pamphlet written by Thomas Paine from the 1700s. It's called Common Sense. Look it up.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Dicks. It's just
I
I love. It's weird seeing.
It's
you
okay.
speechless.
if you
Why
don't
do-
want genitalia in the game, then why?
I don't understand. Okay, is this an outsource, like a contracting problem or something?
I don't know.
Like,
It's Ubisoft.
did the contractors
It's a
choose-
big company. Like
No,
Joe
they
said.
That's my point.
Yeah,
It's
no,
too
I agree.
big.
I
They
think
don't
that's
know what
valid.
they're
I think you guys both hit it on the head.
I get that, but there's no and there's no reason to include these things on models if you don't have gameplay that pertains to it. I guess maybe
They did. It's called the camera mode.
yeah. Maybe they had a gameplay. They had a hot coffee.
There's a whole
mode or
mechanic
something later on.
of taking. You take selfies of yourself in front of landmarks.
So you
and
could take
get
a dick
you get
picture of
followers.
yourself in front of
your
the
experience
landmark?
in Watch Dogs 2 is based on followers. Like that's how you level up.
Okay.
And they have it's an open world game, so and just like in the first
Can
one,
I
you
take-
by going to these landmarks and taking selfies, you get points for doing that.
Can I take dick pictures of myself?
No, but you can catch. You can get characters into ragdoll modes where they go flying in the air, land in a very
Right, and I bet you if you-
exposed
so you
way,
take a
and then you
dick
take a
pic and
selfie
and then-
with their junk. That's
That
how
makes, Okay, now it makes more sense. I'm glad that
That's
was,
how these are coming about.
Yeah. Okay. So they took that out then, or they're going.
Yeah,
to.
so they're running around looking for characters with skirts and then finding a way.
knocking
wanna
them
have-
over or something.
Yeah, knock them over in a weird way.
We
and then
want to
get the
have a
right
really
angle.
edgy game
Why-
that asks some really important questions, but we don't want to have any fucking D's or V's in
Do
it.
most of these girls in the game not wear panties under their skirts?
Well, that's kind of the rub, right?
Right.
It's just like there's clearly a mix between what their intention was and what some of the employees did.
yeah.
I feel like a lot of them knowing full well what would have occurred as a result of what they made.
I think that's a very good point, and
It doesn't represent the entire company.
No, definitely
and
not.
Then,
It's-
and a big company like that is more likely to say, "Look, right now, right this second, let's fix this problem, and
let's make
just
it not a
happened-
problem, and then we can
It
walk
happened
it back
to be
later."
just the vajayjay
Because we're taking
texture.
page out of Valve's book. Like
Yeah.
we're just gonna fucking wipe the slate clean, and then we'll walk it back later.
Right. Watch Dogs 3 confirmed.
Watch those D's.
So I don't think it's as big of a deal as the article made it.
No,
so basically we
it's not.
roped
It's still a fucking video game for Christ's sake.
whoever's still listening. We roped you into listening to that last lightning round topic for it to be.
It was kind of entertaining.
It's
I was
what you thought it
entertained.
was.
We had to keep going with it. That's cool.
Yeah. D's and V's, everybody. We've done it, everyone. We've come to a close. Episode 119 is all but over. Thank you very much for listening in. Hit us up, cheatcodespodcast.com, on our Facebook page, Twitter page. Get in on the conversation. We'd love to hear what you think. That'll do it for us for now. Make sure to check out the Patreon page. You can become a patron for as little as $2 a month. Thanks to everyone who's jumped on board so far. We're going to see you next week. And actually, we're not because of the holiday.
We'll be off for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're going to take off for Thanksgiving. And
we'll miss you.
And we'll be back sooner rather than later.
But everything's going to be...
All right.
That's not how.
No, that's.
What
Do
kind
you
of
want to do it
said
again? All right.
That was a little better. But
I
too
still
fast.
no. I
Somebody else
heard
wanted
it
to-
in your voice though. Like it did it for me. I was good.
Did it do it for you?
Yeah, I was fine with
You
it.
got any weed?
It'd be like cooler if you did. You know what I like about high school girls?
We're just gonna do.
All right.
Okay.